Hello. Okay, hello, how are we all? We are now live and ready to go. Just sort of said hello to Instagram a little bit as well, so I'm not just completely all in YouTube. Right, we'll get going in just a second. Whoops, clicked on the wrong thing. There we go, let's pull that down so I can see the chat. Okay, so any of you have any sort of questions whatsoever, if you have any questions later on and you're watching the pre-recorded, then just type in the comments and I'm happy to answer any sort of questions that you have. So today what we're going to be doing is, sorry, my knee's got a little bit funny there. Woo. So today what we're going to be doing, hi Nikki, is a sort of a strength and mobility type session today. So it's going to be around about 15 to 25 minutes. Not sure how long it'll be, but absolute maximum half an hour. So mobility, very good for you to stay nice and loose, ready to go. So you're comfortable doing any exercise and you're not tight in the hips, ankles, the chest, the back. You're just comfortable being how you are. And strength is very good for you to stay injury-free, strong enough to move as well, strong enough to keep your posture. So yeah, so we're going to be starting off with the classic 1990 stretch, as we've done before, and then we're going to do a couple of rotations, and then we're going to do something very new. It's a little bit more flow, like it's something called a Turkish Get Up. Now, Turkish Get Up has a lot of movements in it and it looks very complicated, but I'll walk you through today on how to do it by yourself. So if you have a weight with you, like a kettlebell or a light dumbbell, you can use that, but body weight is absolutely fine as well. There's no need to go absolutely balls to the walls just yet. We want to get the movement patterns in first. We're taking it very slow and controlled, focusing on our breathing, focusing if our core is tight and engaged, focusing if we're stretching our hips enough, and again, focusing on the breathing, like I said. I want to take it nice and slow and controlled. Like with any exercise as well, you want to be controlled in everything that you do. So when you do these mobility exercises, it really teaches you to sort of slow down, focus on what you're doing, be connected to what you're doing today. So like I said, if you do have any questions, do let me know in the comments or in the chat, and I am happy to answer. And if you do like these videos, do leave a like or a comment, and let me know. If you are struggling with something, let me know again in the comments, and subscribe so that you can catch up with all the other workouts that we do every single Tuesday, Thursday and 12:30. Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at 12:30. So we are going to be starting off with the 1990, like I just said. So we're going to sit down onto the floor. We're going to face one direction. So either to the left or to the right. I'm going to face to the right. I just did that the wrong way around. To the right or to the left. I'm going to place one leg in front of us in a 90-degree position. And our back leg, again, also in a 90-degree. You want to be 90 degrees in the inside as well. So we're going to take this in stages. What we're going to first do is sort of just lie down onto our front leg. We're going to feel a stretch in our glutes, but also on the inside and outsides of our hips. You want to take it nice and slow, go really low, and then come on back up. If you want, you can walk yourself out and in. And again, you want to focus on that breathing, stay nice and slow and controlled. My heating's on, my radiator's just there. So I'm going to get nice and sweaty here. Or if you really want to, you can just really let the gravity do the work. Try and keep it controlled. And come nice and flat. Lovely. So I'm going to do this one more time. And we're going to hold it there a little bit longer. So you just want to hold it here just for a few seconds. Lovely. And come on up. Lovely work. Now we're going to twist into our back leg. So we're going to bring our shoulders forwards. You're not going to move the hips, but you're going to sort of push all the weight to the back. And what you should feel is a stretch on the inside here. Either a stretch or sort of like a pulling sensation deep inside on the inside of our hips. Now this 1990 degree or 1990 exercise is absolutely brilliant when you've got a leg day coming up or you're going to do some big squats, or if you're just training your legs in general, you want to be nice and comfortable in the hips so that your squats aren't uncomfortable and tight. Lovely, and then we can turn away again just to relax just a little bit. Take a nice couple of deep breaths. We're going to turn back. And then now we're going to raise our knee up and down. And this is the external rotation of our hip. And you can place your hands behind you just for some extra balance. Lovely. Again, you want to keep with the 90 degrees as much as you can. Try and keep your heel on the floor. Lovely. Okay, and relax just a little bit. If at any point you need to shake out your legs, shake your legs out. That's totally fine. And now what we're going to do is that we're going to do a couple of repetitions of lifting our heel up. So we're going to press our leg or our knee into the floor, raising the heel. I'm using my fingers here to lift up and then back down. And this is the internal rotations of our hip. So this is going to be a lot more difficult for me, especially on the left side of the hip. I find it quite difficult to rotate in. Okay, let's just do a couple more. So this is a really difficult one. Even if you can only lift it up like half an inch off the floor, that's perfectly fine. If you can lift it all the way up, then you're some sort of superhero. Let's do one more. All right. Then now we're just going to open up our legs, still keeping the heels on the floor, and then we're just going to push on out, feeling the stretch in our groin. Lovely. And 3, 2, 1. And we're going to roll to the other side. Again, keeping with the 90 degrees in both sides. I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going to lie down onto our front leg just as low as we can. And again, taking some nice deep breaths, keeping it controlled, and then coming up. You want to get as low as you can. Lovely. And coming up. We'll just do a few more and then we're going to hold it down. And you might find that on one side you might be able to go lower on one side, or you might be able to raise your knee up a bit more on the other side. And that's just some muscle imbalances. Either you're weaker, tighter, or stronger on one side than the other. And that's the whole point of these 90-90s, is to even out everything so you're not tight on one side, so you can get a nice even squat so you're not shifting to the left or right, and you're nice and stable on both sides as well. So now we're just going to hold the stretch here just for a few seconds, and then we're going to push into this back leg. All right, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Now, if you can't reach the complete 90 degrees, you can bring your heel in a little bit. That's completely fine. And just work towards pushing your heel up when we're pushing our chest down to the floor. If you want to bring that heel in when we're coming down, that's completely fine. All right, so we're just going to twist into this back leg here. Again, keeping the 90 degrees in the back leg. And try and really push down on the knee here, keeping the leg on the floor. We're just going to hold that there for a few seconds. Again, if you want to relax just a little bit, just take a couple of deep breaths. Lovely. And then come on back out. Pushing in here, feeling it on the inside, almost close towards the groin, and a little bit on the outside, well, almost leading into the outside of the hip. Lovely. And just relax again. And now we're going to raise the back leg up, or the back knee up, sorry. So we're going to turn away, keep the heel on the floor, and then raising the knee. Sorry, excuse me, my throat's going a little bit. So you may be able to see that compared to my left leg, my right knee is able to come up a lot more. And that just means that I'm a lot more flexible, I think, on the inside of my hips. Lovely. And remember, focus on your breathing, taking it nice and slow and controlled. Focus on what we're doing. And now we're going to raise the heel up and back down. Again, I can raise this heel up. I'm a lot more mobile on my right hip than my left. That's just because I'm tighter. And if you find that you can't move your right leg or your left leg more than the other, don't worry too much about it. It's all about practice and getting in your mobility exercises as much as you can. There's lots and lots of exercises that you can do. Okay, we're going to do one more lift and then we're going to rotate again. All right, and one more. Lovely, and we're going to come on out. Just push the knees out. Again, like I said, there's a lot of exercises that you can do, not just 1990s. But 1990s is a very good place to start as it hits all areas of the hips. And then we're just going to roll to the other side. Lovely. All right, our hips should be nice and loose now. So we're going to do a couple of walkouts now with some rotations. So we're going to start off with walkouts and then we're going to go into those rotations. So nice straight legs, pushing the hips back, really feeling a big stretch in the hamstrings. Keep them as straight as you can. If you find it difficult to keep your legs straight, then widen your stance just a little bit. And that will help. Reach down towards the floor, keeping the legs straight, touching your toes, pushing the hips back. And then we're going to walk ourselves out, keeping the core engaged as much as we can. Hold it there for a few seconds, keeping the legs straight as you come back in. And then stand up. Let's come back out. Again, nice and slow on the way down. Nice and slow on the way in. Again, keep control of your breathing. Nice deep breath through the nose. And big exhale through the mouth. All right, we're going to do a couple of rotations now to loosen up the spine. So again, nice straight legs coming down. I'm going to hold into this high plank. I'm going to bring one foot in, stretching out the hips again one more time. And then we're going to bring the opposite, or if we brought our left leg in, sorry, I'm going to raise my left hand. I'm going to rotate up. Exhale as you're coming up, rotating through. Lovely, and then changing sides. Opening up the hips. If you want an extra bit, you can reach through. And then rotate out. And then we're going to walk back in. Lovely. We're going to do a few more of them. Then we're going to do some kick throughs. And then we're going to go through those Turkish Get Ups. One hip through. I'm going to reach through here to get an extra bit of motion in and then rotate out. So what you can do is inhale as you're coming through the arm and then exhale as you're coming out. Lovely. Let's change sides. Inhale. Exhale as you're coming through. All right, let's do this one more time. Okay. So again, one foot forwards, really stretching, opening up the hips, reaching through. And then exhale, keeping the balance. Changing sides. Lovely. And then walk on in. All right. So we're going to change exercise now. We're going to go and do some kick throughs. And then we've got those Turkish Get Ups. So those 1990s, just to loosen up the hips a little bit to make it more comfortable for those Turkish Get Ups. The walkouts with rotations. So loosening up the backs, getting the shoulders ready, getting the hamstrings loosened up a bit more, and the kick throughs. It's going to work a little bit more upper body, and some core work as well, and some legs. And then those Turkish get-ups is where we're going to get some really serious work in. So with the kick throughs, we're going to go into a bear hold. What that is that we're going to place both palms onto the floor, both toes on the floor, and we're going to hover our knees about an inch or two above the floor, okay? We want to hover there, keep the core tight and engaged, tucking the hips in towards our belly button. And then what we're going to do here is lifting up our opposite hand to the opposite leg. So for me, what I'm doing now is lifting my left hand up whilst my right leg kicks through. And you don't want to slide the foot across. You want to keep the foot hovering above the floor and just get into the motion of the ocean. And again, right hand with the left leg. You want to keep that held. Take it nice and slow. Be nice and low, keep the leg parallel. Don't be reaching up, we're coming down, and coming down again. All right. So we're just going to do a couple of these. You want to keep the arm locked out. Don't want to be bent. Locked out so the shoulder's in position. And then change sides. Again, you want to get into the flow of this. Take it nice and slow. You want to be in control of all your actions. All right, we'll do a few more. Last one. All right, and relax. There we go, your shoulders should have gotten a bit of a workout in. I've crinkled up a little piece of cloth here. Right, time for those Turkish get-ups. Are we ready? So, yeah, we're good for time. So if you've got a weight, a light dumbbell, a light kettlebell, even body weight is completely fine with this. You don't need to go too heavy. I'll demonstrate first with just body weight, and if I feel like it, I'm going to grab a light dumbbell here. So, what this is good, it's just a very good exercise for your whole body. Hamstrings, glutes, your core and obliques, or your obliques are part of your core, your abs and obliques, and especially the shoulders, as your arm is going to be constantly up, locked out, and in its socket. When I mean in the socket is, I'm going to catch my breath a little bit. So, if we reach our arms up all the way and my arm is touching my ear, it's not in its socket. So, I'm going to bring it down and now it's in. All right, so you see the difference here? Is that it's nice and solid in its position here. It's not up and out of its socket. It's locked in and it's back and down. That's where it wants to be. So if you raise your shoulders up, coming back, down, that's where you want to be. Is that's a neutral position for where your shoulders should be. So always think about your shoulders coming back and down in its natural position, especially when you're doing back exercises or shoulder press or chest press or something. Any exercise that's involving the shoulders, you don't want your shoulders to be all over the place. It's just general good tips here. This is not necessary for the Turkish get-ups. It's just a good idea to always think about where your shoulders are positioned and if they're in a neutral position or not and engaged. So especially with this, because the first part of this movement is that we're lying down. Now I'm going to use my right hand to be always up, so you can see, and I'm going to bring my right knee in. You don't want to be too close, you don't want to be too far out, you want to be nice and neutral. Then with the other leg, should be out to the side just a little bit with the other arm. Again, 45 degrees from the body. Now, what I'm talking about is with the shoulder, here's out of the socket, here is in the socket. See the difference? My arm is still straight, it's just all in the shoulders. want to bring that shoulder down and in. All right. So if I go from this angle, bring one knee in, arm always up and back and down. And then this leg is going to come out just a little bit. And the arm is just out to the side, about a 45-degree angle from your body. Now that is your basic setup. Now, with the weight, it should be behind, next to you, and you can curl up, bring it in towards your chest, bring one knee in, then press up. But because we're doing a body weight, we can just start off up in the air. So, from here, I'll go from this angle actually. From here, we're going to come on up onto our elbow here, keeping our arm up. We'll be always looking up at the hand. You can watch me for the first few reps, and then when you get into it, always look up at your hand. So, again, arm up in the air, bring yourself up through your core, pushing through the heels, up onto your elbow. Then from here, you're going to come up onto your hand. So your hand is sort of just almost behind you towards the side. And then from here, we're going to go into a bridge. Really raising the hips up, squeezing the glutes on the bent leg, keeping the heel on the floor. That's really important. And then just like the kick throughs, remember when we're sliding our foot through, not sliding our foot through, sorry, we're hovering it across, we're lifting it. All right, moving it from one position to the other. So again, we'll take that one step at a time. So lots of movements in here. So, arm up, starting again, coming up onto the elbow. Then pushing onto the hand, and then coming up into the bridge. Now we're going to kick our leg behind us, and it's going to be close to our hand. So where you want to be positioned is bringing the knee through. You don't want to be here, you don't really be all the way back here. You want to be nice and close towards the hand that is planted on the floor. And you should be a vertical line from your hand planted on the floor to the hand that's up in the air. So you should be in like a T-pose here. Now from here, you can release your hand, rotate the knee, and you're going to be in a lunge position. It's okay to slide your foot through just for some extra balance, keeping the arm up and shoulder in its socket. And then from here, we're going to come up into a standing position, and then we're going to come on back down and reverse it all. So we're going to go into that lunge position, placing the hand down, rotating the knee just a little bit, and again back into that T-pose. Now we're kicking through, woo, keep your balance, and into the bridge. Hips all the way up, squeeze the glutes and the hamstrings. Then placing your bum onto the floor, elbow down, and then back down onto the floor, laying down. And then if you have a weight, you can bring that weight down towards your chest, and then roll over and let go. That is a lot of movements. So if you want to pause this video, go through those steps again, that's completely fine. And if you have some weight, feel free to use that, but body weight is just enough because it really gets your shoulders going. So we're going to go through that again. So again, if you're using body weight, just placing your hand up in the air is fine. It's still working the shoulder. Again, shoulder back and down in its socket. Because my right hand is up in the air, my right knee comes in, and my hand is placed to the side of me at a slight angle, and then this front leg, or this other leg here, again, coming out towards the side just a little bit, just so it's easier for the bridge. You want to be nice and even and spread out for this. Then, we're coming up, using our core to pull ourselves up onto the elbow. All right? Then we're going to come up onto the hand, still keeping the hand on the floor, and then into the bridge, really keeping our hands up, straight up into the air, looking up, really squeezing the glutes and the hamstrings here, raising our hips, and then we're going to kick through. You want to keep, you don't want to try not to slide your foot just like I did, and you should be in like a T-pose here. You should feel your core working on the side, and then to pull up through, I'm going to use your core again. So, rotating the knee, going into the lunge position, and then standing up. Lovely. Then coming back down into the lunge. Then rotating the knee, going into the T position here. Into the bridge, kicking your leg through, keeping your hips up. Placing your bum down onto the floor, keeping your hand on the floor. Down onto the elbow. And then on the floor now. Lovely. And then if you have a weight, curl over into a ball. Drop the weight, and that'll be us. All right. So, how are we feeling with that? Are you confident? Again, like I said, if you're watching this pre-recorded, you can always rewind the video. But we're going to change arms now. Again, I'll walk you through. So we've done about 2-3 reps on one side. All we're going to do now is that we're just going to change the side. It's the exact same thing. We're just changing which way we're facing and which arm is up in the air. That is all. So, again, arm up. Nice and straight up, pointed towards the ceiling. Shoulder back and down in its socket. Arm out towards an angle. Same knee pulled in. Leg out just a little bit for stability. Then, coming up onto the elbow, keeping the arm up. In onto the hand. Then into the bridge. Keeping the heel down, squeezing our glutes and hamstrings. Feeling our hips stretch and open up. And we're going to place our knee behind us, close towards the hand, going into the T position, vertical from one hand to the other. Then we're turning our knee, pulling ourselves up, keeping the arm up, shoulder down, and then we're going to stand up from here. All right, then we're going to come back down. Again, nice controlled. You don't want to be rushing these movements here. Turning, hand down, keep looking up. Kicking the leg through, just like we did in the exercise. Heel down, bum down, onto the elbow, and then back down onto the floor, and relax. Again, you might, like I said in the 1990 exercise that we did, you might find that one side is more difficult than the other. So for me, the right side of my hip, I feel it a lot more. Like contracting a lot more, feels like I'm almost going to get a cramp, especially when I'm doing the bridge. But again, it's one of those exercises that is really good to just challenge your mobility and your strength all around. Now, if we add a bit of weight, you're going to really feel everything working. So it's the exact same. Just if you do have some weight, I'm going to place it towards us. We're going to curl up, bring the weight in towards our chest, roll. Place one leg out, one arm out, and then keeping one arm above us, straight and locked out, keeping that shoulder in its socket. And again, coming up onto the elbow. Take 1 or 2 seconds just to take a couple of deep breaths. Feel yourself in that position. Up onto the hand, still looking up at the weight, especially if you have a kettlebell. I just have dumbbells at home. Then into the bridge, and then kick your knee through behind you, in line with your hand, and then pulling your core up into the lunge position, and then from here, I'm going to stand arm up, keeping the arm up. I'm going to come back down into our hand placed back onto the floor. Turning the knee just a little bit, just for some extra balance. Kicking through, hips up, placing the bum onto the floor, onto the elbow, and then back down. And then again, if you have some weight, bring it in towards your chest, and then roll to the side, and relax. And again, you can do this for as many reps as you want. I prefer doing this for 3 times on one side. So I'm going to do one more rep, and then that'll be us. So, curl on up into the weight, roll yourself, one leg out, one arm out, keeping one knee bent, and then lifting the weight up. Now from here again, coming up onto the elbow, keeping the weight up, still looking up towards your hand. Oh, I've got an itchy nose now. Onto our hands and wrists, then into the bridge, hips up. Now from here again, just like when we have our knee on the floor, you should be in the T position, vertical line from our wrist on the floor to our wrist up in the air. Kick your knee through, close towards your hand, into the lunge position. Especially when you have weight, you're going to feel yourself pull up, and then stand on up. Take a couple of deep breaths, coming back down, into that lunge position. Turn the knee, hand onto the floor, keeping the arm up. Try and keep your arm as stable as you can. Then kick on through, bum down. Nice controlled breathing, thinking about what we're doing. Onto the elbow. And then onto our back. Bring the weight in towards our chest. And then roll to the side. And relax. So, how did you feel that? Something slightly different today? Woo. But still good work anyway. Feeling nice and loose, sort of strong, especially in those Turkish get-ups. If you've got a weight, you can really feel yourself working a lot more, even if it is just like a pint of milk or something. No worries, Nikki, so do I. There's nothing better than stretching at lunch. Sometimes a good workout as well is good, but then you get all sweaty and then you have to carry on. But loosening up after you've been at the desk is a very good idea. So a 10-minute stretch is very ideal. Maybe do some squats and some push-ups at the end of it as well, just to get your blood flowing again, make yourself feel more energized. That's what exercise is all about. It's just feeling good, feeling energized, feeling happy and alive, more than just lifting weights up and down and then just, there you go, there's your workout. All right, so lovely work. So again, these sessions are on every Tuesday, 12:30, Thursday, 12:30, Saturday, 12:30. They can either be a stretching mobility session, a strength and mobility session like we just did today. It could be a 30-minute HIIT session, a 10-minute HIIT session, could be core, could be upper body, could be legs, could be a weighted workout, could be absolutely anything. So you're in for a surprise all the time. Lovely work. So again, join in every 12:30 every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at 12:30. I'll be there. And again, if you do like these videos, do leave a like, comment and subscribe so that I know that you're enjoying these videos. If you want to know anything about fitness related stuff or have any questions whatsoever, leave them in the chat on one of the live sessions or in the comments and I will answer. And if you would like a 3-month training program, visit my website oscarsmith.fitness.com or message me on Instagram oscarsmith.fitness or email me oscarsmith.fitness@gmail.com. That 3-month training program is completely personalized towards you and you only, nobody else has it. It's completely personalized and it is just yours. In those 3 months, I will be checking up on you every week to see if you're carrying on, how you're doing with the exercises, if you're managing, or if you've got an injury one week. We'll change some of the programming so that you can still carry on moving, or we will just focus on the stretching side of things. Again, it's not the end of the world if something goes out of plan. There's always a way around. And yeah, after the 3 months, you'll know exactly what to do for your workouts and how to achieve your goals. It's sort of like a lifestyle change training program rather than just a workout program. So again, if you want any details, email me, message me on Instagram, or visit my website. It's all in the description. All right. I shall see you Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday. Lovely work.